fatal accident that occurred at Iyanotipa, Bako, along Omiadio Road in Ibadan. An eyewitness, Abdul, victims of the accident. Oyo State Police Command was yet to confirm the incident as of the time of filing this report. As part of the NSAS protests going on in the country, there is a total lockdown in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, as protesters blocked all major roads and entry points into the city. Our correspondent Ibiumi Shola reports that the Ele, Naihot, or Loguerun and other areas around the axis have been blocked, leaving commuters stranded, while some had to seek alternative routes. Another of our correspondents, Olarisayo Uweye, reports that Akpata, Uluyole, and Mobile areas are also completely blocked. On his part, a man, Oladele Toyosi, who reports from the challenge axis, said the protesters were already on the road as early as 7 a.m. and barricaded the roads. According to them, the protesters are now asking for good governance, accountability, and improved standard of living for the citizens.
Everybody's frustrated. We are living in an atmosphere where our leader doesn't care for us. But it's high time for Nigeria to get up and tell them that we are no more a kid.
I think they have to listen to us. They are not hearing us, so we are looking for ways for them to hear us. So if it disrupts them a little bit, cause a little bit of disturbance, they might be able to hear what we're trying to say.
Since the beginning of Nigeria, we've been having series of different military. We are fed up. I'm a graduate of Polytechnic. I have to go and learn work again. Our government keep using us like a slave in our father's land. Enough is enough.
My suggestion is the Senate House will dissolve. President himself to come down. Sorry, coming forward. So we are taking Nigeria our dream, and we believe in new dream. And we believe in Nigeria vision. We believe that this country will be great.
We are here to show our interest and to let the government know that we are not okay with all what is going on in the system of the country.
We are fighting for our rights, not only SARS, but we are fighting for everything.
We are fighting for our rights. We don't want SARS anymore. SARS kill everybody every day. We don't need police anymore. Bad government, we don't need them anymore. We are ready to fight for our rights.
And as a result of the protests, some workers had to go back home, while those who were already on the road arrived late to their workplaces, even as they complained of increase in fare. Meanwhile, some youths in Oremeji area of Mokola in Ibadan have protested what they called outrageous electricity bill. The protesters were seen by our correspondents carrying placards with various signs asking the distribution companies to stop the outrageous bills with immediate effect. Nigerian leaders have been charged to be proactive in defending the citizens against banditry, Boko Haram, kidnapping, and other forms of security threats across the country. Speaking during a press conference in Ibadan, the chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, Oyo State Chapter, Reverend Samson Ajetomobi, said the NSAS movement had a spiritual undertone, evident in the way people accepted the movement without a central leadership.
That's where the challenge of trust comes in. Did you understand that? The challenge of trust comes in because, for example, I heard that a few of the musicians were invited, at least two of them, and asked them to see how they can step into this matter and get it solved. Now, that is not a step a government who is very genuine will take. You don't do a divide and rule when the common purpose is clear. So what you need to do is sit up as government and take your decision as government and say, okay, we're hearing what the people need. We should respond to what they need. Yes, these guys are doing a very quiet, peaceful protest, but there's no violence, there's nothing.
Ajetomobi urged government to heed the call of the populace by restructuring the nation's police system and the entire security architecture. He also advocated a concrete educational reform that will guarantee the future of young Nigerians for national development.
Look at the ASU endless negotiation and fights on educational improvement and benefits in Nigeria. I've been not met several times with different governments, and they say they have an agreement and they're going to keep to it. Sign document, and government will be treated trust. So that is why this movement is building the pressure on until the whole world will bring us to the same thing.
Also present at the event was the Vice Chairman PFN Oyo State, Bishop Matthew Olubusui. In the meantime, a guidance counselor, Reverend Shegu Idong, has urged the federal government not to contemplate using soldiers against the NSAS protesters. In a release sent to Pensioners FM, Reverend Idowu said the move would only offer a half-baked solution. This advice comes amid reports that soldiers have been deployed in Abuja to quell the ongoing protests. Reverend Idowu urged the government to look deeply into the issues raised by the Nigerian youth who have been on the streets for days now. He, however, counseled the protesters to be civil and give the government a chance to consider their demands. Oyo South senatorial aspirant in the last general election under the umbrella of the All Progressives Congress APC, Fola Akinyosun, has condemned the attack on Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola by hoodlums who he says wanted to take the life of the governor under the pretense of NSAS protests. Akinyosun explained that the All Progressive Congress members, including Governor Oyetola, support Nigerian youth to put an end to the brutality of innocent youths by the Nigerian Police Force Unit, SARS. The senatorial aspirant therefore condemned the attempt on Oyetola's life, advising President Muhammadu Buhari to listen to the yearnings of the Nigerian youth. Meanwhile, Oyo State Deputy Governor Rauf Olaniyan has recounted his ordeal in the hands of operatives of the recently disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. The deputy governor, who had earlier joined the protesters to call for a ban on the unit, said he was brutalized on 2 different occasions in the past. Olaniyan said his 2 encounters happened in Lagos. Speaking on the solution to the ongoing protest, the deputy governor said Nigerians want more than end SARS, saying they also want total reform of the police. Meanwhile, Oyo State government has created an email account and a section on the state's website for residents of the state to report incidences of police violations and brutality. According to reports, residents of the state can report cases of police violation through the email address reportpolice@mail.oyostate.gov.ng, reportpolice@mail.oyostate.gov.ng, or through the link on the Oyo State website, oyostate.gov.ng/reportpolice. I take it again, oyostate.gov.ng/reportpolice, where they can fill out a form. The government said in a statement that plans were underway to set up a judicial panel that will look into the various forms of abuses and violations that are reported. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde gave this directive in line with his earlier stance that the genuine grievances of the NSAS protesters, which border on police brutality, must be addressed by the government. And away from the protests now, a member of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, who is also a proprietress of a school in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Mrs. Olayemi Silva, has accused some police officers of manhandling her. Silva, who in an audio message reported the case to the association, said one of her 13-year-old students got locked up in a cell at the police station in the Secretariat, Ibadan, where she was caught by the Environmental Task Force dumping a piece of nylon on the road. She said while demanding the bail of the students, the police attempted to lock her up.
The principal of the school was checking out on the students, those present and absent. They found that a girl was absent in SS2 class, and it's unusual, so they called the parents. The parents said the child has been locked up. She was eating gala, biscuits, and pure water. She dropped the sachets on the road, and she was apprehended by the environmental secretariat. And I quickly went there as I was parking. The girl saw me. She came beside my car and she was crying, and I was petting her. Don't worry, you are following me back home today. The moment a police officer there heard what I said, he started insulting me, and one of their boss came out. He said, take her to the police station, go and lock her up. I went inside my car, I took my phone, I wanted to call. They just came in.
Confirming the incident, the public relations officer of NAPS, Mr. Udele Abednego, while speaking with our correspondent on phone, said investigation was ongoing.
We are still investigating. She had a voice note and the association had to investigate to know the real fact of the issue. We want to get the fact before we can declare whether what she did was real or not. For now, we don't want to say much about it.
Meanwhile, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Taiwo Adisa, ordered a full-scale investigation into the circumstances that led to the incident reported in the viral audio, assuring that anyone found guilty of the accusation would be dealt with accordingly. Operatives of BUST, a special joint security task force created by the Oyo State government, has arrested 25 hoodlums. Some of the hoodlums were suspected to be members of the dreaded 1 million boys who take advantage of the ongoing end-SARS protest to loot shops, rob people of their belongings, and destroy property. Reports say they were arrested at various locations within Ibadan metropolis like Uje, Bere, Udeti, Okeofa, Okebola, among others. Members of the Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, or Osun States, shock over the sudden death of Madam Abigail Makinde, mother of the Oyo State Governor. According to the association, Madam Makinde lived a fulfilled life and was loving, kind, hardworking, and a philanthropist. The members conveyed their condolences to Governor Seyi Makinde, the Makinde's family, and the entire state, praying God to grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. The Makinde matriarch died on Thursday morning, aged 81. The wives of the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, have showered praises on their husband, who turned 82 recently. Some of the queens of the Oyo monarch took to their respective social media pages to post his pictures and appreciated him, saying words of endearment. Extolling the monarch, one of his young queens, Folashade, said the Alaafin deserves to be celebrated. Several prominent personalities also sent congratulatory messages to the king and prayed for his longevity on the throne. And in sport, Nigerian referees have already completed their quota as far as FIFA badge refereeing is concerned. Retired FIFA badge referee based in Abuja, Bumi Ogunkolade, said this in an interview with Pensioners FM's correspondent, taken away from the selection of referees for continental and international football competitions.
We're supposed to let Nigeria know the facts behind the appointment of FIFA referees. FIFA laws regulating appointment of international referees, which we call FIFA badge referees. Every country has been given a specific numbers of referees. It is not just an open-ended thing. Nigerian referees are being given their own quota of matches in Africa.
Oyo State is currently having 2 serving FIFA badge referees, Folusho Ajayi for female and Usman Majid for male. And that ends Oyo State News on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Agbarigo, Umiriki, Ibadan. The news editor is Florence Akintola. Uluwakemi Uyedele led the production crew. My name is Pius Nsabe. Thanks for listening.
káàsán o ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ abdulmumin ìṣọ̀lá loníròyìn. Ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀yọ́ ti ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ojú òpó ayélujára email fún àwọn aráàlú láti máa fi ẹ̀sùn báwọn ọlọ́pàá kò gbérégbè SARS sì máa ń yẹ̀yẹ́ wọn lọ́nà tí ọ̀bófinmu ṣọwọ́ sí ojú òpó náà. Igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Rauf Ọláníyan ti sọ ìrírí tó ní lórí báwọn ọlọ́pàá kò gbérégbè ṣe fara ní lọ́nà tí ọ̀bófinmu. àwọn ọ̀dọ́ ló sì ń tẹ̀síwájú láti sọ̀rọ̀ sókè fòpin sí ikọ̀ ọlọ́pàá kò gbèrègbè SARS pẹ̀lú bí wọ́n ṣe ṣèwọ́de lágbègbè challenge Ìbàdàn láàárọ̀ òní eléyìí tó ṣokùnfà súnkẹrẹ fàkẹrẹ ọkọ̀ gidi láwọn ojú pópónà tó ṣe kókó táwọn ọ̀dọ́ náà sì ń lọgun pé àwọn ọmọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ sí ìgbáyé gbádùn. Olùdíje ipò asòfin àgbà nínú ètò ìdìbò gbogbogbò tó kọjá lábẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC Fọlá Akínyọ̀sún ti kọlójú sí bí àwọn ọmọ ìsọta ṣe kọlu gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Adégbóyèga Oyètọ́lá ẹni tó ní wọ́n fẹ́ fi ìwọ́de àti paná ikọ̀ ọlọ́pàá SARS bójú ni láti gbẹ̀mí òun. Ọ̀kan lára ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ olùdásílẹ̀ iléèwé aládàáni nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ẹ̀ka tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tóun náà jẹ́ olùdásílẹ̀ iléèwé aládàáni kan nílùú Ìbàdàn arábìnrin Ọláyẹmí Silva ti nàka àléébù sáwọn ọlọ́pàá kan tán ṣe bí ọ̀sẹ̀ ṣe ń sojú eléyìí tí wọ́n lù ú bí bàrà. Àwọn èèkàn ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kan ti ṣàpèjúwe ìyànsípò onímọ̀-ẹ̀rọ Fẹ́mi Babalọ́lá tí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé fọwọ́ sí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀nà tí ò bójúmu. Ikọ̀ ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò alájùṣe tá a mọ̀ sí Operation Boss tíjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ ti fi tàkútí òfin pé àwọn jàǹdùkú 24 eléyìí táwọn ọmọ ìta tá wọ́n ń pè ní 1 million boys wà nínú wọn pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn pé wọ́n lo àǹfààní ìwọ́de àti paná ọlọ́pàá SARS fi ja àwọn aráàlú lólè. Àwọn aya Ọ̀yọ́ ọba Lámìdí Adéyẹmí ti kọrin re kí ọkọ wọn tó pé ẹni ọdún 82 lókè pẹ̀ láìpẹ́. Èyí ló pin ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ fún tọ̀sán-òní lórúkọ olóòtú ìròyìn Florence Akíntọ́lá orúkọ mi ni Abdulmumin Ìṣọ̀lá ẹ ṣeun tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa.
Welcome to the future. National FM 106.7. Àgbàlódé rédíò àgbáriwo lónírèké ń bàdàn.